So hello and welcome to FinTech Today, where we're joined by the Chief Exec of 1FS, Bobby Console-Verma. So great to have you with us, Bobby. I think maybe the first thing we could ask is just give us a bit of an overview of what is 1FS and your role there.
Thank you, Matt. It's a pleasure to be here. And 1FSWealth is really about bringing together your assets, whatever you own anywhere in the world, into one place. So it's a consolidation tool initially, but then once you have all of your assets on our digital platform, then you can control them efficiently. So it's actually all about bringing the portfolio together and taking away the stress and the burden of controlling a portfolio. So we don't provide investment advice, but we allow you to monitor the performance of the managers and the funds that you allocate to.
Okay, so I suppose the logical question is, where did the idea for 1FS come from? And I suppose, how are you different to maybe others in that wealth tech area?
Sure. So the idea actually came from the challenge and the sheer frustration that we had in respect of managing and controlling our own assets. And so as soon as you actually have a portfolio which is diversified, it becomes very painful in terms of controlling it. Even if you think about that simple requirement to make sure that properties have a insurance policy in place and it's not expired. So the renewals are automatic on our platform, so we have risk alerts, and also gas safety certificates, and also threshold alerts around the diversification of the portfolio.
Okay, so I suppose a good question maybe is your background. You know, what was your background that led to you setting up 1FS?
Yeah, sure. So I actually started out on the capital market side, on the equities side, and then I went into credit derivatives, so working for the usual large banks. And I specialize in credit and credit derivatives. And then after that, went into private equity. So co-managed a PE fund. And it was actually that bringing together of all of that knowledge across multiple asset classes. And I think I was actually blessed because a lot of people in the markets have focused on just bonds, i.e. one asset class. I was really fortunate because I had that multi-asset class exposure. And off the back of that, it led to the idea that, hang on a second, to build a proper diversified portfolio, you need proper tools and proper technology. So you can't use simply Excel, Dropbox, and filing cabinets. And that's exactly what most people are doing at the moment. So we wanted to build something which initially catered for the most complex portfolios on the planet. And we have some very large families on the family offices using the platform. And we've now been speaking to many ultra high net worth and high net worth individuals who face exactly the same challenges, but they might not just have that quantum of wealth, but it's exactly the same issues.
So who is your market then, would you say, and where is your market then?
Yeah, sure. The market is actually broad. So we sell on a direct basis to single family offices, ultra high net worth individuals, high net worth individuals as well. And that's on a direct basis. And a lot of that comes in off the back of reverse inquiry now, which is great. But we also sell on a B2B basis, a B2B2C, which is talking to wealth managers, multifamily offices, private banks, even law firms, because we have a succession planning module built in.
So a global reach then. Yeah. So with regards to the markets then, how are you finding the UK market compared to maybe the rest of the world where you're working, Americas, the Middle East?
Yeah, it's a really good question because I would say that the answer is, it comes down to the culture of the people. And if you think about the US have always been a lot faster to make a decision. And so what tends to happen is that they have a real can-do, will-do attitude. If they like the offering, then they tend to use it and sign up. And then for the UK, that's been a bit slower because we're slightly catching up in terms of that awareness of the need for this type of product. And then the Middle East has been great traction for us. We have indeed been traveling there a fair bit and looking to build up our silos of clients or clusters of clients over in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Saudi Arabia.
So a real great global reach, and fantastic is based here in London. So I suppose we have to ask the question, you're a sponsor of FinTech Awards London, why?
Sure. I think that one of the reasons is you.
Thank you very much.
And I think that it's a really high quality award program to be associated with. And that for us is really important. And I think that the support that you give the companies off the back of just even entering, I think is incredibly powerful. So going through a formal interview process for the award, I think gives it and lends it that degree of rigor, which is important. So.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think that's really important. I think that's one thing that we always try and do, that credibility, but also how we can create a community in a sense and make sure that it works properly so everyone gets the benefit. So I suppose a last question. You're an entrepreneur, but everyone loves to give people advice. What's maybe the best bit of advice or maybe the worst bit of advice you've ever been given?
That's a really good question. I would say that I think the most important thing is you've got to follow your passion. And so whatever you do is passion driven, because without that passion, you will never be able to stick with it. And I would say that it's difficult to look back on the advice that I've been given, because I've been really lucky in that I've been exposed to many impressive people who have built businesses, who are just geniuses and able to offer good advice. I would say that what I've learned from the process is probably that distillation of talking to people. And I would say that being an entrepreneur is all about that persistence and that resilience, because it's not all plain sailing, and you've got to be able to stick at it, and you've got to be able to have the energy and the work ethic to do 18-hour days consistently, because without that you won't have a successful company. And so that's probably the distillation of my learnings. And then that comes back to the team. You've got to be really good at attracting the right people who want to work for you and who like you and who believe in the mission, because to actually attract high quality talent would normally be excruciatingly expensive. So as a startup, you can't afford to pay that. So you've got to have that vision, that shared vision amongst the team.
Excellent. Well, look, really appreciate your time, Bobby. All the best, and we'll hopefully see you soon on June the 12th.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.